I haven't done maths since leaving college in March. And even then it wasn't like A-level maths, it was basic maths in the subjects that I took. Hey everyone, I'm Uwa and welcome back to my channel. I'm a 2020 medicine offer holder and I've set up an Instagram page, a website and this YouTube channel to help aspiring medics. If you're applying to medicine, follow me on my Instagram, it's at uwaisibor.com_ and subscribe to my channel for more help with your application. So I've teamed up with Medify to bring you this video on using Medify for your UCAT practices. Although this video has been kindly sponsored by Medify, that does not change my opinion about the course. I believe it's an absolutely amazing course and it's one of the best ones out there to help you get UCAT ready. Even before I set up my website, I told my friends about Medify. I also wrote my ebook for my UCAT notes and I recommended Medify in that. And in my first YouTube video, I talked about Medify being a really good resource to help you with your practices. And I even said on there that I'd like to do a video just about Medify, so here it is. So before we get any further with the video, I'm just going to tell you a bit about Medify. What exactly is Medify? Medify is an online resource which is designed to help medicine and dentistry applicants with their admissions process. So if you're sitting the UCAT or the BMAT, they have online courses to help you with both those entry exams. And in those courses you'll find question banks, practice questions, past papers for the BMAT, tutorials, mocks, mini mocks, amongst other tools to help you prepare for that entry exam. So they also have tools to help you with your personal statement and interviews post submitting your application. Medify is definitely something worth checking out if you're applying to medicine or dentistry. They offer their courses to both applicants in the UK and in Australia. Below in the description box I'll leave a link for UK applicants and Australian applicants. Make sure you check those out and make sure you have a look at what Medify has to offer. I got Medify after I realised just how hard the UCAT really is. The first reason I invested in Medify was because I knew it was going to provide me with a software that was similar to that of the real UCAT test. Another reason I invested in Medify is because I knew the questions that were in the books I had were I can't think of the word, but they were going to run out, but at some point I would have got through all of those and that just wouldn't have been enough practice for me. I wanted to make sure I had so much practice so I was ready for my UCAT test when the day came and nothing could jeopardise my medical application. So with Medify they have question banks with about 10,000 or even more UCAT questions. There are so many on there and you can literally never run out of practice. I did about 7,000 questions over a 7-week period. This was more than enough practice than I needed, but I was happy that I was able to have such a resource to make use of. Another thing I love about Medify is that they track your progress. So I used Medify last year. It tracks your progress from where you first started to where you currently are. And something that I really loved is when you do a day of practice, it colours in a square. So dark green means you've done lots of practice and light green means you've done practice but probably not enough. And if the square remains like a whitish grey colour, it means you've just done no practice at all. So whenever I saw either a whitish grey square or I saw a light green square, I would feel guilty. I wanted to make sure that I had a dark green square and that motivated me to carry on practicing. And I think without that push, maybe some days I'd have been like, if I don't do UCAT, it doesn't matter. But with that mindset, that would not have helped me get the score I got or helped me get my 3 interviews for medicine. Also, it shows your progress against the average Medify user, and I think this is really good because the average Medify user is going to be the people in your cohort, so essentially the people who you're competing against and the people who are going to determine where you sit in the percentiles. The main part for me for Medify and the reason that I chose to get it for UCAT is the question banks. So on Medify there's question banks for each section of the UCAT which are filled with tons and tons and tons of questions. What's great about these question banks on Medify is that the difficulty level of the questions I found best reflect that of your real UCAT test. So again with the question banks, not only do they have just the ones you can just work through at your own pace and do leisurely, get to understand the UCAT, get to know the UCAT, but they've also got timed questions. I'll go through that again in more detail once we get logged on. So I've defo done enough talking right now and it's time for me to show you just what Medify really has to offer and what the hype is all about. Before we get started, let me just say one more thing. Sorry. So yeah, I'm a massive advocate for emulating the experience of the day in your practices. So one thing that I went and bought was a Bluetooth number pad because my laptop and the desktop we have at home hasn't got a number pad on the right hand side. And having one of these is really good good, because if you are going to sit your test in the test centre this year, you should expect to be sat to quite an old-fashioned desktop, but also one that's got a number pad at the side. Having the number pad is really useful because it's so much easier to use these numbers here on the online calculator, and it's so much quicker than using the QWERTY keyboard and the numbers along the top line. So using the numbers on the right hand side will save you a lot of time, which is going to reduce any pressure you're going to feel and hopefully boost your UCAT score. So I think I'm actually ready to show you Medify now. I'm done talking. Let's get logged on. Sorry, one more thing. So something you want to have with you is a whiteboard, because on the day you're going to get a laminated notebook, and they call that the UCAT whiteboard. And I'd say have a whiteboard handy and use that in your practices if possible, because if you're in practice with like a notebook, on the day you might be surprised by how quickly the pen moves on the whiteboard, which might throw you off a bit. It sounds little and it sounds trivial, but it's just these little things you want to make sure you put into practice to reduce any surprises on the day. But yeah, finally, let me show you what Medify's like. I'm just going to get logged on now and get into my Medify account. So something I love about Medify is that you can set your UCAT test date. I went on this yesterday, and I did actually film this video yesterday, but that's another story, we won't go into it. But yeah, so I set the test date yesterday to the 11th of August, and that's given me a 30-day countdown. So with Medify, they also offer the UCAT Sen. If you apply for UCAT Sen, I think you get about 150 minutes to complete the UCAT instead of 120. So yeah, you can apply that to your Medify account. So like I said, I logged on yesterday, so it's showing me my progress from yesterday. I did some SJT questions. If I had done a mock, it would be right here, and it would be showing me my score on the mock. Getting on with the tutorials, if you watch it, it saves your progress and where you've got to with the tutorials, so in case you want to come back to it anytime. So here are some written tutorials. The ones you've completed are in grey, and the ones you've not done are in blue, and there are tutorials for every single section of the UCAT. Here's an example of a question, and it's going to give you through a worked example. The worked examples are really good, and I really recommend them, because if you're doing the UCAT for the first time, you literally won't know how to approach questions. So this gets you in the mind of the UCAT examiner, the computer. But yeah, so it shows you how to tackle a question and how to approach it, and things that should be going through your head and what you should be thinking about when you're doing a UCAT question. So going on to my norm practice from yesterday, I was quite pleased with this. That was my first UCAT question in like 10-11 months. So yeah, I was pleased with that. Yeah, so I'm just going back on my question. It shows me my feedback, and I'd always recommend reading the feedback whether or not you got a question right. So looking at my QR question, yeah, I guessed this one, honestly. Like, I haven't done maths since leaving college in March, and even then it wasn't like A-level maths, it was basic maths in the subjects that I took. So looking at the feedback, I should have done a calculation, but I made the mistake of just reading straight from the table. And that's another good thing about Medify, so it gets you into the habit of working on your mistakes and fixing your errors, because you are seeing where you're going wrong and you're taking on the feedback. Also shows you how long, this is the untimed practice, but it shows you how long you're spending on a question each time. I spent way too long on these questions. So again, it shows me my feedback and how long I spent on the questions. So yes, Medify is something that you have to pay a subscription fee for, but 100% it is worth your money. Essentially, it's an investment into your future. You're going to hopefully get it once, do the UCAT once, ace the UCAT, and get the score you need to get your interviews. So I'll put the prices below, but if you've watched my UCAT video or you've read my ebook, what I recommend is the 2-month course. I found Medify literally about a year ago today, 11th of July. It's a bit sad that I remember that. But yeah, I found it a year ago today, and at this point it was just short of 8 weeks. It was about 7 weeks until my UCAT test. I got the 2-month subscription, and I practiced for Medify over that 7-week period, and it was 100% well worth my money. Yeah, that's it on Medify. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's at uwaisibor.com_ and subscribe to my channel for more content and more help with your med school application. And a massive thank you to Medify for making this video possible. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see you in my next video.